Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Red Devils Experience. How you all doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Manchester United, a lot of breaking news today. Transfer news, as you can see up on the screen. We got a couple more things. We are here with the Red Devil Experience. Real quick, smash the like button for me if you can. Subscribe, turn on notifications. We're gonna get straight into it, as we will be, as always, just checking to make sure that we are live and everything is good. Give me 2 seconds, please, and thank you, people. All right. So, here we are. Manchester United is set for a major squad overhaul with Varane, Brandon Williams, and Martial leaving as free agents. The club is open to offers for most of its first-team squad, excluding rising stars, Mainoo, Garnacho, and Højlund. While United prefers to keep Rashford, they are open to offers for the forward under specific conditions. This strategic move aims to revitalize the team and free up significant wage space for potential new signings. There was a lot of transfer news that came out today, a lot, and it's if this is what we are. If there's any truth to any of this stuff, it seems as though INEOS are going to do what Ralph Rangnick suggested, what many of the fans suggested, and that is to have a max exodus, or the way Ralph Rangnick put it, open heart surgery on the club. Many fans, including myself, believe the club need this. This is the way to move forward, and Manchester United must do this for us to improve and to get to where we need to go. Now, to follow up on this, we're going to cut to this real quick. Manchester United, as being reported by the people that you can see, the Times Sport, Ben Jacobs, Samuel Luckhurst, all credible people, all credible outlets. Manchester United will listen to offers for Anthony, Harry Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Victor Lindelof, and Christian Eriksen. There's also updates coming from the Saudi side saying that Saudi deal makers are optimistic on Rafael Varane. The two Saudi teams have shown interest. Al Nassr also still tracking Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Casemiro is another Saudi target. Al Hilal, one to watch. Manchester United have made it clear to Saudi execs multiple players are available. So Manchester United, INEOS, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Barada, they are trying to get that Saudi money. Obviously, Saudi were big spenders. They're not afraid to splash the cash. We are looking for cash. We are in desperate need of cash. We're going to need cash to be able to buy players. And the amount of players that we want to buy. If we want to sell a lot of players, if we want to buy a lot of players to get them in, we're going to need to sell quite a few players, and we're going to need to get a good fee for them. A good fee plus removing their high wages equals a lot of money for us, which we could then use to get transfers in. And on top of that, Samuel Luckhurst also reported Manchester United are looking to sign 2 central defenders this summer. That would probably go hand in hand with the fact that Harry Maguire, United are looking to move on Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. So there are your 2 central defenders. Also, Varane is going to go. So that's 3 defenders, 3 center defenders out, and we're going to get 2 in. We have Kumbala. I don't know what we're going to do with Johnny Evans. They might keep him on as just a spare backup. He hasn't been so bad this season. So, maybe just as a emergency backup, they might keep him on. It is what it is. To go on to what was mentioned about Marcus Rashford here, Manchester United would consider selling Marcus Rashford if a substantial offer arrives and he tells the club he wants to leave. However, United are not proactively looking to sell the forward. United's preference is to keep Marcus Rashford and work with him to get him back to his best and help him return to the form of previous years. On top of that, David Ornstein, as he said, Manchester United's preference is to keep Marcus Rashford to help bring the 26-year-old back to top form. United would only consider a sale if substantial bids arrive and England international decides he wants to take on a new challenge. So Manchester United not 100% actively looking to sell Marcus Rashford. They are not 100% close to the idea. And it is also up to Marcus Rashford. If Marcus Rashford decides that he wants to leave, then the club will definitely consider it even further. If the club get a very high, probably crazy offer, you're talking about in the range of probably 100 million or more, they would definitely consider selling Marcus Rashford. It is not 100% closed from their end. And it also depends on what Marcus Rashford wants. On top of that, we had PSG have cooled interest in Marcus Rashford and will actively pursue other transfer targets ahead of the summer. So PSG not looking like a very likely destination for Marcus Rashford to go. So therefore, in my opinion, I do not see how Marcus Rashford will be going anywhere. I think Marcus Rashford will be here next season. I think solely because of the fact that solely for the fact that I don't think there's many suitors for Marcus Rashford. I don't think there's many suitors that are willing to pay the amount of money that Manchester United would want for Marcus Rashford. And therefore, I think he will be here next season. I think Manchester United want to keep him. And I think Marcus Rashford, even though he did make a statement and say that he is fed up of the abuse, I think Marcus Rashford, he wants to still be here. I think he loves this club, and I think he wants to continue on here. I think it's something very important for him to continue here. He doesn't want to go. He loves the club. He loves Manchester United, and I think it would be very hard for him to leave this club. On top of this, we also have updates, some slight updates on Erik Ten Hag. As you know, every single day, Manchester United news is about Erik Ten Hag being replaced, Erik Ten Hag losing his job, Erik Ten Hag, it's all about going. So there has been some updates on this, and it's coming from these people. Peter Schmeichel also having his 2 cents the other day on it. So INEOS, it was just reported, INEOS will not make a call on Erik Ten Hag's future at Manchester United until after the Emirates Cup, FA Cup final. It was also reported by the same person that Ajax are interested in reappointing Erik Ten Hag this summer, but he and his coaching team would be reluctant to walk away from Manchester United. Even if Ten Hag loses his job, there is acknowledgement the coach may prefer to seek an opportunity at one of Europe's stronger leagues than return to Holland. I think Erik Ten Hag does have suitors in different leagues. I think one of the top 5 leagues, I think he would go to that team. And also, as we know, it's being reported, Thomas Tuchel has been linked with the Manchester United job multiple times over the past at least week and a half. Peter Schmeichel talking about this on TV the other day, saying if Manchester United were in the market for a manager, he should be somebody mentioned in that respect. He should be. He has that kind of pedigree. He has got, as I said, the authority. He has proven he can win, which I think is really important. So my 2 cents on all of this stuff, and this is a lot to get through. It is encouraging that there is news that INEOS are looking to actively sell. What's up, Anonymous? How you doing? Hope everything's well. I think it's very, very encouraging that I think it's here to quell the fans' fears that Erik Ten Hag would be sacked, would be replaced, and the players are going to get another free pass like we've seen in the previous season or seasons. I think this news is being pushed out by the club because they have seen the response from the fans. Now, this sort of concerns me because I think it ties hand in hand with the players being removed to Erik Ten Hag's future. I think they are trying to dispel the fact that if Erik Ten Hag is replaced, that the players won't be replaced. I think they're trying to combat the fans' fears here. I think this is the angle they're going for because I still believe that they want to get rid of Erik Ten Hag. Whether they think he's doing a bad job, whether they think it's all his fault, I solely believe when you have these changes at the club, when there is a new hierarchy, when there is a new plan, when there is a new structure, when things are going in this direction, these people come in and they want to hire their own man. So Jim Ratcliffe did not hire Erik Ten Hag. The season is not going the way everybody hoped it would be. There is no indication, there is no actual proof that it can get better. It can get worse. It could get better, but it could also get much worse next season. So I think INEOS are definitely looking to replace Erik Ten Hag with their own guy. And I think all of this news coming out about the squad is being pushed out by them to calm the fans down, so that when they do replace Erik Ten Hag at the end of the season, fans don't go absolutely mental. Fans will be upset no matter what. They will 100% be upset because the majority are still backing Erik Ten Hag. It's at least at like 55, 60% in a lot of the polls that I've seen that are still Ten Hag in. So he still has the majority. But the thing is that's going on here is I think they're trying to let the fans know, hey, we understand these players are not good enough. And we're going to make you understand that, yes, we are going to change the manager, but these players are not getting another free pass. We've seen enough from them. We've talked to a lot of people. We've heard out the problems all over. The players are part of the problem. The players do have to accept some type of responsibility, and that is going to be dropped on their head. These players will not survive this again. And major changes are coming. Let me just get to the chat real quick. Anonymous asking, do you think Tuchel is the right person for United? In my honest opinion, I do not. I've never liked Tuchel in terms of I don't think he is. I don't think he's as good as a manager as a lot of these other people make him out to be. I personally never liked him. I always thought he was some sort of a bottler in an aspect. When he was at PSG, they won trophies, but it's PSG, and PSG run that entire league. I mean, the league is PSG. If you don't win with PSG when you're at PSG, the league, any of their league cups, then you're not even really a good manager, are you? In terms of the fact that he didn't win the Champions League with PSG, so in my eyes, that is a failure. Dortmund, I don't believe he won a trophy there. Now, obviously, Bayern Munich dominate that league, but it is possible to do things. We're seeing Xabi Alonso go undefeated in the Bundesliga and absolutely just destroy everybody and everything. So you can win in that league, even though it is not a thing that is common. But at the same time, he did win. He did win the Champions League at Chelsea, but then again, half the job was done for him. Frank Lampard got them into the knockout stages, and you rate Frank Lampard as you want as a manager. Obviously, he's not that great of a manager. He managed to get them through there with that Chelsea squad. So I don't think that Chelsea squad was as bad as people say. And it's a knockout competition at the end of the day. You win a couple matches, you somehow make it to the final, and then the final is a one-off game. It's whoever's better that day. I think he was a little bit fortunate, but he did win it, so he gets credit for it. And he's failed at Bayern Munich. And people could say, well, the Bayern Munich structure has been the worst that it's been for 12 years or whatever, and he's there at the wrong time. But that's tough. I don't think that this guy is correct for Manchester United. I don't think. Listen, I have a couple friends that are Bayern Munich fans, and they tell me they are very, very unhappy with him. He doesn't have a clue at what he's doing. They do not like his tactics. They do not like his style of play. They don't want him at the club. They haven't wanted him there for a while, and it is very concerning because I know how this fan base is, and I know how Manchester United has been. And I think if you get rid of Erik Ten Hag and you get somebody like Thomas Tuchel in, I think within a year, a lot of people will be calling for his head, and I think he would have to probably end up being sacked if things don't go well. If he manages to do well, it would probably be a different story. Ray saying in the chat, "What's up? How you doing, Ray?" Gary Neville is available for manager. Big Mouth Gary. Ray's having a go at Gary Neville today. I haven't seen what Gary says. I don't listen to a lot of what they say. I kind of just drown that out. They do say a lot of stuff. It is their job to commentate and say things, and they're on Sky Sports. Sky Sports probably feeds them stuff to hit on. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. That's why I don't really pay attention to it. A lot of it is scripted. A lot of it is just it's they're trying to get people to watch. They're trying to get attention on them because the mainstream media is losing attention to other people like YouTubers, etc. Guys, thank you. Smash the like button for me if you haven't already. I'm just gonna speak on the Marcus Rashford thing real quick as we go back to this stuff. So, do you guys think, anybody that's watching, do you think United should sell Rashford? Do you think Rashford's gonna go? I personally don't think Rashford's gonna go. I think if the money is right, and it depends who's making the offer. I would not sell Marcus Rashford to any other Premier League club. I don't care if they're offering 150 million. I would not sell him to another Premier League club. I don't want to see that. I wouldn't want to watch matches where he's playing against us, like if he was sold to an Arsenal or somebody of that nature. I would not want to see that. I would definitely sell him outside of the league, for sure. And it would have to be a substantial fee for me, at least for now. I think there are other problems going on that we have to address, like the fact that we need to address this right here. As you can see, we need to address this. Players like Anthony, Harry Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Eriksen, Casemiro, all these players probably need to go. That's a big majority of the squad. They need to be replaced. We need fresh, new, young blood. I don't think Lindelof is good enough. And we could replace him with somebody younger, somebody with more potential, that can do the same, that can come off the bench. Wan-Bissaka doesn't fit the way we're trying to go forward, doesn't fit the modern game for us. He doesn't fit the game for a top 4 club. He doesn't fit the game for a club that would want to challenge and win the Champions League. All these big teams, they play with a modern attacking wing back, and he is not that. He is very excellent at tackling the ball. He's very excellent at defending, but he cannot go forward. And we need another person like Delo that can challenge Delo, but also has similar qualities to Delo, where they are better at going forward. They can whip in crosses. They can probably have a shot on goal when available, for sure. The chat saying, Melissa Reddy on Sky News says Ten Hag talking himself out of the job. What do you think? I love Rashford. I'm a fan, but he needs to go. I think Erik Ten Hag is I don't think he's talking himself out of the job, per se. I think Erik Ten Hag, listen, at the end of the day, everybody is a human being. I think Erik Ten Hag has had enough of certain aspects of the way he's being treated by the media. I think he's had enough of the certain aspects. He's gonna look at it one way, and people are gonna look at it another way. The fans are gonna look at it a different way. The media are looking at it a different way because they have an agenda and they want to push their agenda. So I think Ten Hag is just hitting back out. I don't think he's talking himself out of the job. Talking himself out of the job would be kind of like what Mourinho did towards the end, where he knew it was going to be the end, and he just started speaking absolutely reckless, saying things against the club, against the players out in public, and stuff like that. Even Ralph Rangnick, I think Ralph Rangnick knew after a certain point that Manchester United, the hierarchy, was going to go back on their original plan, and therefore he came out and started hitting heavy against the people up above him, the players, and I don't think Erik Ten Hag is there. I think Erik Ten Hag is being a little bit more direct in the comments he's saying, and I think he's doing that because the pressure is on him, and I think he's also just fed up with a lot of the aspects that are going on around him. I mean, the media, I don't know if anybody's seen this, but the media literally he did like a minute 30-second or 2-minute interview, and the media absolutely edited the hell out of the clip and then only put out a certain part of the clip of him saying something, and our fans absolutely lost their shit because he stated that Manchester United next season cannot challenge for the Premier League. And I don't understand where the outrage is coming, because unless you live under a rock, hello, everybody is calling for open heart surgery. Everybody's saying these players are awful. These players are crap. They cannot do it. We are garbage. So how do you expect to go from we are garbage, these players are crap, to going to challenge for the title? Why are you getting mad at the manager for saying that? He's giving you the honest truth. Everybody, or not everybody, but a lot of people attack Erik Ten Hag for being a liar. They say he is a liar. He is a constant liar. But when he comes out and says something like that, which I consider to be 100% fact and 100% to be the truth, they lose their shit and they can't handle it. And it's like, so, this fan base kind of has to get it together. You cry that he lies. He tells you the truth, and you cry about the truth. This fan base kind of has to get it together. Anonymous also saying, I love Rashford, I'm a fan, but he need to go. Listen, Marcus Rashford, I'm with you there. Like, I've always supported Rashford. I loved Rashford ever since he came on those 2 games, Europa League against Arsenal, scoring the goals. I got one of his kits, the pink one, just because it was pink. But it's something different. I never had a pink kit from all those seasons ago. My issue with Marcus Rashford is he is like a light switch. And he's done this multiple times. He has one good season, and you're looking at it and you're like, man, if he can perform a little bit more than what he just gave us this season, he's like top 3 players in all top 5 leagues. And then what happens is he regresses deeply from there, and he looks like one of the worst players in all of the leagues available. Then there's a lot of talk. Should he be sold? This and that. He gets abused in certain aspects, like I'm talking about racism and all that stuff. He does receive that. But then there's criticism, which is straight valid criticism of his playing style and his performances on the pitch. And he he looks like a shell of the player he was the season before. Then he comes into next season, and he either goes back to the season he had before he was a shell of himself, or he goes above what he was, and everybody's like, this is the Marcus Rashford we want, and everybody looks forward to the next season, and he drops back down again. And that's what I mean by he's kind of like a light switch. It's like 1 year on, 1 year off. And that's kind of concerning, because you can't have a player that's on 300 and what is he on 325,000 a week, and is meant to be our main player and one of the stars of the player of the club and carry this club. You cannot have a player like that. So I don't know. It's more so on Rashford. I want to say it's more so on Rashford. It's what Rashford does. Can he get himself together? Can he improve his performances on the pitch, and can he find that consistency? He has to find that consistency. And you know what? If he decides he wants to leave and he wants to go, a part of me will be sad. A part of me will understand it, because a part of me thinks, you know what? Maybe this relationship here has come to the end of the road, and he needs a new thing, and we need a new thing. Maybe that's the way to go forward. And only time will tell. Ray saying Erik Ten Hag, if he stay, will never sell Rashi. I don't think it's actually up to him anymore. To be honest, Ray, I don't think it's up to him. I think it's up to the club now. I think it's up to Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Omar Barada, Wilcox. I think it's up to these people now. I don't think Erik Ten Hag will have the final say. And also, I think it's up to Rashford if he wants to stay. But I don't think it's on Erik Ten Hag. I think Erik Ten Hag has shown a lot of maybe foolishly, he's shown a lot of trust in Marcus Rashford. He's tried to support him Not for nothing. I listened to Mark Goldbridge did a interview with Henry Winters, who has been a United journalist for over 20, 30 years now. He has connections to Marcus Rashford, and he is an avid supporter of Marcus Rashford. And this guy was saying that Marcus Rashford is one of these players where he actually is really introverted. He's not so much of an outgoing person, and all of this stuff that you see outside of the football pitch is really just a PR team, and it's not really him. That is just the branding, and those are the people that are around him are pushing that branding. And Marcus Rashford is not one of these people where when he gets criticized, it actually brings him down. It brings him down. He is one of these players that, now some people might say this is soft, but listen, people are people at the end of the day, and everybody reacts differently. Sometimes people just need continued support. They need continued show of love, and they need an arm around their shoulder, and they need to be kind of walked through or carried through the bad time. And to get them to a better place. Some people react differently. Like a Roy Keane, Roy Keane needs a full fiery argument and a kick up his ass, and he's gonna go out there and he's gonna try and prove you wrong, and he wants all that fight, that interaction. He wants all of that. It fires him up. It gets him going. But some players are not like that. Some people are not like that, especially in today's generation. They are not like the Roy Keanes. They are more like what Marcus Rashford is, which is they're very more introverted, more secluded, and they need a little bit of an arm around the shoulder, and they need to be coddled a little bit more. Whether people like that or not, that's just the reality of the situation. Anonymous saying, I agree, media pylon, Ten Hag, despicable. That is the reason more I wanted him to stay and prove himself. Yeah, I see that too. When I see what they do to him, it riles me up even more. Like it makes me back him even more, because it's just like, this is so clearly obvious that they are doing hit pieces on him, and they clearly don't like this man, and they clearly want him to be sacked. They never liked him to begin with, and they played this sort of snake two-faced type of thing where they were like pretending to be friends with him, and they were just waiting for time to go on, and they were waiting for the bad results to come, because in football everybody goes through bad results, and they were waiting for it to come. And as soon as it came, you saw their true face, their true opinion, their true identity. And the things they keep doing to this man is actually, it is a disgrace. It is disgusting. And that's why he needs to keep talking out. He needs to stand up for himself. He needs to keep saying these things. The fans are backing him on that, and it's very important. Ray is saying, I agree. Keep Erik Ten Hag and prove mainstream media wrong. It's not even just the mainstream media now. There's a lot of fans in the United fan base that they are Ten Hag out. And everybody's entitled to their opinion, and they could have their own reasons. And I've decided that I'm going to back this manager until he is gone for whatever reason. If he's sacked or whatever, or just ends up mutual agreement, they part their ways. Because I don't, the candidates that are out there, I don't like anybody on a personal level. I don't like anybody that is available, and I don't see them coming in. To me, I would just keep Erik Ten Hag. I don't see how they're any better than him. I don't see how there would be any chance of them doing any better of a job, because there are so many other problems. The recruitment is a huge one for me. The player recruitment is a huge one. And I think until we get the player recruitment correctly, it don't matter what manager we have. Now, I understand that we should probably be playing better. But at the same time, I think some of that goes on the manager, but some of that goes on the players. I mean, look at Guardiola. Yeah, he has an identity. Yeah, he has his play style. But how many times has Guardiola bought somebody and got rid of them in the next season or replaced them because they just can't do what he wants? And I think that's where we are. Like, we have a bunch of players, especially us, because our recruitment is so bad and it's been through like three or four different managers. these players can't do what Erik Ten Hag wants. He needs different players. And the problem with that is that we've recruited so poorly that it's like it's worse than just removing one or two players. We have assumed a collection of crap that doesn't go together over 5, 6 years, whatever, 7 years. So I mean, you know, if that statement wasn't true, why wouldn't Guardiola just keep Sterling? Why wouldn't he keep Cancelo? Why wouldn't he keep or like other players? Why didn't he keep Joe Hart or whoever? Like these players can't they weren't able to do what he needed them to do, so he got rid of them. You know, I think Calvin Phillips was a shit signing for him, and clearly, I don't know who advised him to make that signing, but he clearly couldn't do. He couldn't play in that squad the way they play. You know what I mean? So, I think that pretty much sums it all up. I'm just gonna check real quick because while I was setting up the show, more and more news keep coming out. So I just want to check to see if anything else came out while we're here. But Scott McTominay to a message to the fans said I slipped and felt awkward on my knees, similar to against Chelsea. Nothing serious, just hyperextension, but I was angry and upset that I thought it was worse than it was, hoping to be back on the pitch very soon to help the team as much as I can. So Scott McTominay is saying that his injury is not serious. Which at this moment in time, we need every single player we can have available because, yeah, it hasn't been great. Sport Witness and CFC Bayern also stating Tuchel wants to go to the island. I don't even know what the island means. He's hotly tipped at Manchester United. So they're putting that in there. Anything else just to follow up on before we end it? And if you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you know when we go live. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you to everybody that's already liked the video. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in, obviously. And thank you to everybody that's been involved in the chat. We always love and appreciate your opinions and comments. And I just don't see any more news, so I think that's good. Yeah, Anonymous saying, what you think about Bruno? You will keep him or sell him? And then Ray saying, sell him, can't take us anywhere, we need to go. Well, I disagree with Ray on this. I think right now, as the squad is, Bruno Fernandes was he 30? Almost 30 maybe? Yeah, actually we have the same birthday. So he's almost 30. Bruno Fernandes, I think, right now, with the way this squad is, he creates the most chances. Listen, he loses the ball a lot. He does. He makes some poor decisions sometimes. He makes some good decisions. The problem for me is that you can't remove Bruno Fernandes right now because the guy he's doing everything in the midfield. Without him, I don't know where we would be this season. He has the top goals assist out of I think he's top in the Premier League. If I'm not mistaken. So like, as shit as we are right now, if we didn't have Bruno, Mason Mount's been injured. He hasn't been contributing. And if you didn't have somebody that could put the same output as Bruno in terms of goals, assists, creating chances, and they have to have the ability to not lose the ball as much as he does, right? Where do you find that player? I don't think you have one. I don't think one necessarily exists, or not one that we could get. So for me, like I said, even the same thing with Marcus Rashford, there are other problems that need to be addressed, really, before these guys get on. You know what I mean? Before these guys are addressed. Like we mentioned, look at this list of players. These players here right? This needs to be addressed first. This Anthony, Harry Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Eriksson, Casemiro, Varane, um, Donny van de Beek's on loan. We haven't even mentioned Mason Greenwood. Nobody knows what we're doing with Mason Greenwood. We're gonna sell him. He might come back. They haven't ruled it out apparently. Um, Chat saying, Anonymous, love you, bro. Going to listen to Mark. GG's. Yeah, I'm going to listen to Mark after my own show. You're good. Keep doing good. Best of luck. Thank you, Anonymous. Nick Starling saying, is it possible that someone can discuss things that are realistic and true? Well, what do you mean by that? Can you explain? Can you elaborate on that? What isn't realistic and what isn't true, or what are you alluding? What do you want to hear? This is the news that's being reported, and we're giving our opinion as fans here, and everybody that's in the chat, and yeah, that's just how the show goes. We're not yeah, it is speculative, I guess, but that's part of being a fan. We don't have all the answers. This is stuff being reported to us, and we have our own opinions on other stuff, and that's how these conversations come about. But yeah, Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes. I can't say that he should go this summer. I can't. I think he does a lot for us. And I think while he does lose possession of the ball a lot, and sometimes he does make the wrong choices. The issues in the squad are far greater than that, and you have to build up the squad. And in a year or two, he'll be 31, 32, and you look to move him on. You get somebody else, maybe at that point, and then also we have to see. It depends if Ten Hag will still be here. If Ten Hag is here, how is the style of play looking at that time? Or if we have a new manager, how is the style of play looking forward at that time? And what do INEOS want the style of play to look like? Because if they go direction and it suits Bruno Fernandes, then Bruno Fernandes should be performing way better, right? And he shouldn't have the issues that he's going through right now. But a lot of people think that, as Ray said, that if we cannot go anywhere without Bruno. But I highly disagree with that right now, because Bruno has been, since he's come to this club, I think under the Fergie post Fergie era, I think Bruno Fernandes has been the best signing this club has made. He's definitely been the most impactful. He's definitely done the most. So say what you will about that. Maybe he isn't up to the old standards of Manchester United good enough, right? But in our current situation, I don't see people that are much better than him. I mean, Kobe Mainoo could definitely be the one. He's young and he does take care of the ball, very, very excellent, but he needs to develop more. He's not there yet. Nick Starling saying, no club can possibly sell so many players in one window. The problem is we have no bought players with the right mentality for the last 2 to 3 seasons. So while I kind of agree with you on the first part that no club can possibly sell so many players in one window, because the deals probably take a long time to do. You have to. These are the players I think they're looking to move on, right? So I don't know if it necessarily means that they're saying that all of these players are going. But they're saying these are the players that we want to move on, and they're going to try and get rid of as many as possible. However many that may be, we don't know. That's something that I'm looking forward to seeing in the summer transfer window. I want to see how fast they can do deals, how good the deals are. And to go on to your second point, where you said the problem is we have not bought players with the right mentality for the last 2 to 3 seasons. I am very interested in the type of profile of players that they are going to bring into this club, because I absolutely 110% agree with you, and I think it's been long. I think it's been longer than 2 and 3 seasons. I think we've been doing this since Fergie, and some of the players have gone, and a couple players are still here, depending what year. I mean, I think Di Maria Depay, all these players, all the players we bought that are all flops. They never had the right mentality. They never had probably the right attitude, and they didn't fit a structured plan for a playing style and an identity. So that's where I was talking about the recruitment has been absolutely poor. You have to have all of those things. This is like a puzzle. It's like putting together a puzzle, and you have to get the right pieces for each one. And the each piece of the puzzle has a specific detail in it, and those details need to match the other pieces of the puzzle. If they don't, you cannot complete the puzzle. Therefore, the puzzle is incomplete. Therefore, you don't have a finished product, which is where we are. That's where we've been. We have had, a plan. They ripped it up. They went with this plan. They went with that plan. They didn't have a plan, and they were just doing whatever they wanted, and it's led to the whole thing being shit, pretty much. So yeah, next to Amrabat, Mount, Eriksson, Casemiro, Anthony, Wan-Bissaka are just a few of the wrong players now at United. I also think your show is the best of all current chat platforms. Well, thank you. I greatly appreciate that because I've only been doing this since November. So we're growing, we're learning. I'm still sort of new to this. I'm trying to incorporate new things. I'm glad you're enjoying it, and that actually means a lot. So thank you very much, Nick Starling. I really appreciate that. To your point, I agree with you on Amrabat. Mount, I wasn't convinced when we signed him, but seeing how his season went, just not being available and injured, I'm still reserving a little bit of judgment for him because I just want to see how he does. But I think I think when we signed him, I had question marks over that. Eriksson, I think Eriksson was, for the situation we were in, I think Eriksson was good for a free transfer, and he was good for that season. But he's clearly dropped off. His age has dropped off, and he's got to go. I think Casemiro wasn't bad either, but now Casemiro's dropped off too, and his head doesn't look like he's in it at all. He looks like he's checked out. Michael Zachariah, hi Michael, how you doing? Anthony has aggression. He's got fight to him. But he's lacking the ability, which is the problem. So you see how we're putting this together? Like this, Wan-Bissaka, I think Wan-Bissaka is somewhere in the middle. Like he can tackle, he doesn't have the ability to go forward, and his mentality is kind of like, because there was a point where he looked like he was going to get sold. He was done. He was out. He didn't play. Then he came back and he had this great resurgence. And it was like, look at the mentality of this guy to be strong, to keep fighting, to improve himself. And then he's dropped back off again. And this is what we were getting on to, that the profile of the players, they're missing details. Some have ability. They don't have the attitude. They don't have the mentality. Or the opposite, you know what I mean? So it's just it's really crazy. Ray saying Amrabat was the last choice. I mean, I'm pretty sure he wanted Declan Rice, but we were never going to get Declan Rice. Erik Ten Hag, the first things that were ever reported was he wanted Harry Kane, Declan Rice, Kim Min-jae, and somebody else, if I'm not mistaken. We didn't get any of those players, by the way. And Amrabat was just probably just last choice emergency backup. He needed to do player sales. Didn't get the sale. He wanted to sell McTominay, wanted to sell McGuire to get the transfer fee up, the transfer budget up. I'm sorry, and it didn't happen, and we ended up signing him on loan, which thankfully, luckily enough, the fact that we didn't have money, because he might have signed him on a permanent, maybe not. Maybe the whole thing was always supposed to be a loan, but because he's not good enough. From what I've seen from him, he wasn't good enough. I wasn't convinced by him when they said they were signing him. Everybody was talking about his World Cup appearances. I hate judging players based off of World Cup because World Cup is nowhere near Premier League standard. It's nowhere near club standard, and it ain't no Champions League standard either. So Nick Starling saying it's a massive project that we need to undertake. I'm 66 years old and followed United since I was 8. The biggest thing that we lack is pace in the midfield and defense. Wow. So long time Manchester United fan here, Nick Starling with us, 66 years old. My my father's been around that age. And I he's been supporting United around basically almost the same amount of time. And he's the reason why I'm a United fan as well. Um, and obviously you've seen many multiple Manchester United teams. I haven't had that experience. My experience was Sir Alex Ferguson. Obviously I've gone back, looked at clips, maybe watched a match or two back from maybe the 80s, the 90s, or something like that. But I didn't live through it, so I didn't have the full immersive experience of everything that went on in a day-to-day life of a Manchester United fan at that time. But it pays to have the wisdom and the experience of being through all of that. For me, I struggled quite some time because all I knew was Fergie. All I knew was pretty much dominating and winning. And the first 3 or 4 years after Fergie was probably the roughest ever because I really couldn't handle it. I really couldn't handle it. I've accepted it more now because this is how things go. Football is a cycle. You can't dominate forever. You don't dominate. Nobody dominates forever. Barcelona's going through it. Real Madrid have had periods where they haven't won things. United have done it in the past. Liverpool have done it. Arsenal, every team goes through it. So I believe we will be back one day, 100%, because that's just the cycle of life, and that's how things go. But Nick also saying, I also live in the Netherlands and saw what Ten Hag did at Ajax. Believe me, the Premier League is a different level to the Eredivisie. No, I 100%. I watched a few. I watched all of the Ajax matches when they were in the Champions League. So I was watching those games because I enjoyed the football they were playing, and I loved it. It reminded me kind of United a little bit under Fergie. It was very attacking, whipping in some crosses here and there, and just quick, fast play, and I enjoy that type of stuff. And then when it was more being talked about that he was going to be the Manchester United manager, or it was close, I started watching a couple more Eredivisie games, so I did see, kind of the level of where it's at. Your first, Nick saying my first game was watching Best, Law, and Charlton playing at Leicester. Totally hooked ever since. Wow, that must have been amazing. That must have been amazing. I wish I was there. I would have loved to always. I always wanted to see like George Best play. Um, Live, like in real life, like in real time. That must have been fantastic. Dennis Law, obviously being another fantastic, great Manchester United legend, and Sir Bobby Charlton, of course, as we all know. All three of them absolutely fantastic legends of this club. And yeah, I wish I was there to witness that, and I haven't. But I go back and watch clips from time to time. I enjoy that type of stuff. They were actually truly amazing. Especially for that type of football at that era. But this has gone on long enough. So I'm gonna end it here. Thank you everybody for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, please turn on notifications and smash the like button for me because that's really important. It helps us get out there. It helps us get seen more. So if you've enjoyed the content, please smash that like button for me. It greatly helps us, and I greatly appreciate it. I thank you everybody that's gotten involved in the chat. Lovely people. As always, we're building this community. We're building something beautiful here. I love the interaction. I love people coming in and having their opinions, and people being respectful and just giving insights to what they're thinking and what they've lived through as a Manchester United fan so far. So Nick Starling saying, I retired tomorrow and look forward to watching your show and playing lots of golf. Wow, congratulations, dude. You deserve it, man. Go live life, dude. One of the things from the younger generation that we're saying, and I mean I'm 30, so I'm about to be 30. But there's younger people than me. The 21-year-olds, the 20-year-olds, the 19-year-olds, the 18-year-olds. Um, yeah, they see you guys, and while they respect you for busting your humps, right, and working such a long hard working life, right. I think part of that mentality comes, they see you guys, you get to 66, you get to 65, you retire, and it's like, but you got to go enjoy your life as well. Go out there, go play all the golf, man. Go do it. Go do it. You never know what's going to happen today, tomorrow. The world could end. It's crazy out there. Just go out there, live your life. If you have any family, spend as much time with your family as possible, and I look forward to you coming back, Nick. I want to hear more from you, especially on the topics we're going to be talking about. So thank you, greatly appreciated. Enjoy yourself, enjoy your golf. Hopefully Manchester United can start putting in better performances, so you could enjoy that as well in your retirement. Definitely 100%. So thank you everybody for tuning in. We will see you later. Ray, real quick before we get out of here, said, I lived in Malta. We didn't have live streams when I moved to USA. I had to go to a bar to watch the games. Yeah, that was different times. Now you could watch it anywhere. Watch your games because there was no live games on US TV. Yeah, totally different place. I mean, you could watch it anywhere at any time now. And it's only getting more crazy. But again, thank you guys. Greatly appreciated. Love everybody. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you on the next one. Probably in the next day or two, unless something major breaks. Which then we will obviously go live for. But I plan on doing probably not tomorrow, probably on a Wednesday, more likely, or Thursday, because I think there's Champions League, and I don't really want to do the shows during Champions League games. So we will see. But other than that, take care of yourselves. Have a good morning, good evening, good night from wherever you're watching. Stay safe, and we'll catch you on the next one.